3/4 of the world's economic growth is now coming from countries we used to think of as poor, such as India, China and Brazil. And global food and beverage companies see most of their future potential in these emerging economies.
They've essentially created a new set of meals called snacks, or eating all the time, and they've moved that across the globe. The biggest example to me is China. When I started in China, every one of the 25,000 individuals we monitored in 228 communities across the country, and we spent 3 days with each of them, never snacked. Starting in about 2000, we started to see snacking. It tripled between 2000 and 2004. It tripled again between 2004 and 6, and it tripled again in our survey between 6 and 9. It's the new market for all the major food companies, and they are creating foods and marketing to create a new demand.
The issue here isn't that food companies are evil and plotting to make everybody fat. Food companies are in business. They're not social service agencies. Their job is to get people to eat more, not less. The way I like to explain it is eating less is very bad for business. So what food companies have done is they've made food available in places where it never was before. They've made it available in larger portions, and they have created a social environment in which it's become socially acceptable to eat in places where it never used to be.
It's not all one-way traffic. Governments are making some effort to tackle the problem.
The important thing in terms of obesity is the visibility of the problem. So everyone see what is happening. Everyone has children that are becoming obese. We could use this pressure of the society to fight obesity. This means taxation. This means marketing regulation. I think this is the two main things that can change the picture.
The question is now getting governments to act, and to getting consumer groups and individuals to act in their communities to say we must do something about this. It's only going to come from local populations pushing governments, which is what happened with tobacco.
One successful example is Brazil's national school lunch program, which provides 47 million meals every day. In 2009, the government passed a law requiring that at least 30% of food be fresh and sourced locally. The new rules stem the flow of commercial products into schools, despite pressure from the food industry.
The main argument to convince the politicians to change the law was not the health and the well-being of the school children. This was important, but the most important was that this program was built to be a support to family farmers.
The question is, will we do it, or will big food industry win out? And this is a battle that's going to be fought for the next decade.
Juana Bravo hopes others can learn from her family's struggle with obesity.
Alguien dijo que si gritas hacia todo el mundo y uno solo te escucha, valió la pena el grito. Entonces, las mamás debemos de educarnos primero para poder ayudar a los hijos.
Food is something that everybody understands. It's difficult to explain to people how they, as individuals, can do something about climate change, can do something about international conflict, can do something about corruption in government, but they can do something about the food they eat. And they should.
By 2010, the number of malnourished people had grown only marginally, but the number of obese people had exploded to 500 million. It's predicted that by 2030, more than 1 billion will be obese.
So we have exported the burden of obesity into the emerging economies, just at a time when we're kind of leveled off. This is a worldwide problem, and every country in the world should be concerned about it. And so we are essentially exporting our processed food industry into countries that have never seen it before. The foods that are being exported are extremely high in calories relative to their nutritional value, and we are essentially making the world fat.